What does it really mean to be a god? In anime, that title gets thrown around a lot. You've got gods of destruction, gods of death, and plenty of self-proclaimed gods ruling over their own little worlds. They're supposed to be the absolute peak, the ceiling of power that mortals can only dream of reaching. But what happens when a hero, or even a villain, unlocks a power so terrifying that it makes those gods start to sweat? Yeah, that's where things get interesting. Today, we're diving into the transformations that are officially stronger than gods. These aren't just power-ups. These are the moments that didn't just break power scalars, they shattered reality itself. Moments that redefined what it truly means to be the strongest. From planet-cracking strength to abilities that straight up look at the laws of physics and say, no. This is your countdown of the forms that went beyond divine.
Nakama o mamoru. Sono tame dake ni.
Number 10. Dragon Force. Fairy Tale. Kicking things off, we have the ultimate state for any Dragon Slayer. Dragon Force. Now this isn't just a simple power-up. This is the moment a Dragon Slayer gets as close as humanly possible to becoming a real dragon. When this form activates, the body begins to transform. Scales erupt across their skin, their senses sharpen to a terrifying level, and their magic power? It doesn't just increase, it skyrockets. Dragon Force is known as the final, most powerful state a Dragon Slayer can reach. A form that grants them the same destructive force as the very dragons they were born to hunt. Now sure, it might not be the absolute peak of power in the entire series, but don't get it twisted. This is a temporary transformation that delivers overwhelming, unstoppable strength, the kind needed to crush even the most powerful demonic enemies. It's wild, it's unstable, it's pure destruction. The untamed power of a dragon forced into a human body. And honestly, that's a force that almost nothing in their world can handle. Number 9. Super Saiyan God / Super Saiyan Blue, Dragon Ball Super. This is the transformation that literally shook the universe. When Goku first reached Super Saiyan God, it wasn't just a power boost. No, he ascended to an entirely new plane of existence. By absorbing the energy of 5 pure-hearted Saiyans, Goku tapped into something unthinkable: godly ki. A level of power so immense that even a god of destruction like Beerus actually had to take him seriously for the first time in ages. And that was only the beginning. Because once Goku and Vegeta learned to master this divine energy, they pushed it even further. By combining godly ki with the legendary Super Saiyan transformation, they unlocked Super Saiyan Blue. A form that doesn't just increase power, it multiplies it to an insane degree. We're talking about a level where they can go toe-to-toe with threats that could destroy entire universes. Opponents like Golden Frieza become stepping stones. And when you're pushing a god of destruction like Beerus to actually try, that's when you know you've crossed the line. From mortal warrior to a true divine contender. This transformation didn't just raise the bar, it redefined what god-level power even means. Number 8. Vasto Lord Ichigo, Bleach. Some transformations come from training, others come from pure, raw instinct. When Ichigo Kurosaki was seemingly killed by Ulquiorra Cypher in Hueco Mundo, something inside him snapped. His overwhelming need to protect Orihime Inoue triggered a transformation that was not human, not controlled, but monstrous. A complete and terrifying hollowification. This was Vasto Lord. And no, this wasn't the mask fans were used to. This was a mindless beast of pure destruction. Towering horns, razor-sharp claws, and a hollow, gaping hole in his chest. In this form, Ichigo didn't just defeat Ulquiorra, he humiliated him. He tore off his arm like it was nothing, fired a Sero so massive it completely dwarfed his opponents, and his speed? It wasn't just fast, it was inhuman, untrackable, unstoppable. This wasn't a fight anymore, it was a massacre. Vasto Lord Ichigo existed on an entirely different level, a level of destructive power far beyond anything we had ever seen from him before. And for a moment, he wasn't a hero, he was something far more terrifying. Number 7. Adult Gon, Hunter x Hunter. Sacrifice. That's the one word that defines this transformation. Standing face to face with the one responsible for his mentor's death, Gon Freaks wasn't just angry, he was consumed. Consumed by rage, by grief, by a pain so deep it couldn't be measured. And in that moment, he made a choice. A Nen vow so extreme, it's honestly terrifying. He gave up everything. Not just his strength, not just his energy, but his entire future. Every ounce of potential, every bit of power he would ever have, traded away for one single moment of absolute power. And what came out of that wasn't the Gon we knew. It was something else. Adult Gon. A version of himself with the power he would have gained after decades of brutal training. The jump in strength? It wasn't big. It was insane. So overwhelming that even Neferpitou, one of the supposedly invincible royal guards, felt something they almost never feel. Fear. Not just concern, not just caution, but pure terror. Pitou even realized this power could threaten the king himself, Meruem. And what followed wasn't a battle, it was an execution. Gon didn't just defeat Pitou, he dismantled them with raw, overwhelming strength and zero hesitation. But here's the truth. This power, it came at the highest possible cost. He didn't just risk his life, he threw away his entire future, all for revenge. And in that one moment, Gon didn't become a hero, he became something far more dangerous, something truly terrifying. Number 6. Final Getsuga Tensho, Mugetsu, Bleach. So, how do you defeat an immortal being? A being who is fused with a god-tier power source? For Ichigo Kurosaki, the answer was simple. He became the attack itself. To finally bring down the transcendent Sosuke Aizen, Ichigo unlocked a forbidden technique, the Final Getsuga Tensho. And the name? It's not just for show, because using it meant sacrificing everything, every last drop of his Soul Reaper power, gone. By completely fusing with his blades on Getsu, Ichigo didn't just wield Getsuga anymore, he became Getsuga. His spiritual pressure grew so vast, so overwhelmingly dense, that even Aizen, a being who had evolved beyond both Soul Reapers and Hollows, couldn't even sense him anymore. Let that sink in.
Ichigo wasn't just stronger, he existed on an entirely different plane. And then, with one final move, one devastating strike, he unleashed Mugetsu, a massive wave of pure black energy that didn't just hit Aizen, it overwhelmed him, crippled him, and ultimately led to his defeat. But this wasn't a victory without cost. This was temporary godhood, a moment of absolute, unstoppable power, paid for by losing everything he was. And when it was over, the power was gone. Just like that.
All right, we've hit the halfway point. And already, the power levels are getting out of control. We've seen primal rage, insane sacrifices, and the very first steps into the realm of gods. But trust me, we're just getting started, because the top 5, they don't just challenge gods, they make them look irrelevant. Now, real quick, if you're enjoying this breakdown and you love anime content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps the channel a lot. We drop content like this every single week, and what's coming next, you definitely don't want to miss it. All right, let's get back to it. The top 5. Number 5, the Founding Titan, or the Rumbling in Attack on Titan. Now we're entering a completely different level of power, because this isn't about winning a fight. This is about ending the world. When Eren Yeager gained full control of the Founding Titan, he didn't just become stronger, he gained the power to put the entire planet on a timer. This was the Rumbling. And no, this wasn't some one-on-one showdown. This was global annihilation. Eren's final form wasn't even human anymore. A massive, skeletal monstrosity stretching across the land like a walking nightmare. A being so visual, it looked like the end of the world itself. And behind him, an army. Not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of colossal titans awakened from within the walls of Paradise, all marching forward in perfect, unstoppable formation, crushing everything. Cities, nations, entire civilizations reduced to dust. This is why it ranks here, because this power, it's not about defeating a god, it's about becoming something far worse. A force that can redraw the map of the world itself. And the most terrifying part? It worked. Before it was finally stopped, the Rumbling had already wiped out 80% of humanity. Let that sink in. This wasn't just destruction, it was judgment, the ultimate power of creation and annihilation. A power so absolute, it brought the entire world to its knees.
矢を掴んでいる。レクイエムの次に矢を支配するのはジョルノだ。
Number 4, Gold Experience Requiem, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Some transformations give you insane strength, others unmatched speed, but this one, it gives you something far more terrifying. Inevitability. When Giorno Giovanna pierced his stand, Gold Experience, with the stand arrow, it didn't just evolve, it became something that completely breaks power scaling. Gold Experience Requiem. And its ability, it sounds simple, but it's absolutely broken. Anything that happens, any action, any attack, any outcome is reverted back to 0. That means if you try to strike Giorno, it doesn't get blocked, it doesn't get dodged, it simply never happened, erased, as if reality itself said no. Even abilities that manipulate time itself, like King Crimson, are completely useless against it, because you can't escape something that denies your actions ever existed. But that's not even the worst part, because when Gold Experience Requiem defeats you, it doesn't just end your life, it traps you in an infinite death loop, over and over and over again,
forced to experience your own death for eternity. No escape, no end, no mercy. This isn't just power. This is absolute control over cause and effect. Gold Experience Requiem doesn't just beat gods, it condemns them to a personalized hell they can never escape.
Number 3. Gear 5, One Piece. For years, we thought Monkey D. Luffy's power was simple, just the gum-gum fruit. Rubber body, stretchy attacks, nothing too crazy. But the truth, it was way more ridiculous and 1,000 times more powerful, because Luffy's devil fruit was never just rubber. It was a mythical Zoan, the human fruit model Nika, a power that lets him become the living embodiment of a legend, the sun god Nika, a warrior of freedom, a symbol of liberation. And when that power fully awakens, you get Gear 5. And this is where things get insane, because Gear 5 doesn't just boost strength or speed, it completely rewrites the rules. Luffy gains cartoon-style reality manipulation, limited only by his own imagination. He can turn the ground into rubber, bounce attacks like they're nothing, and move with a freedom that feels almost impossible. Physics? Yeah, that doesn't really apply anymore. This is a fighting style driven by joy, by creativity, by pure, unpredictable chaos. And this is the power that allowed him to defeat Kaido, the so-called strongest creature in the world. And when it activates, you can hear it, the drums of liberation, beating from his heart, a rhythm that signals something bigger than power, something that brings hope and puts smiles on the faces of the oppressed. Gear 5 isn't just strong, it's goofy, it's absurd, it's completely unpredictable. And somehow, that's what makes it feel like a true god has entered the battlefield. Number 2. Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta or Vegito Dragon Ball Super.
What happens when two warriors already operating at a god-tier level decide to become one? You don't just get stronger, you create a power so overwhelming it threatens to break reality itself. Through the Potara earrings, you get Vegito. Through the fusion dance, you get Gogeta. Different methods, same result. A warrior who exists leagues above almost everyone else. And when they ascend into Super Saiyan Blue, that's when things go completely off the charts. We're talking about a level of power that doesn't just dominate opponents, it starts tearing apart the very fabric of reality. When Gogeta Blue faced Broly, the clash wasn't just explosive, it was dimensional. The battlefield itself began to shatter, as if the universe couldn't even handle what it was witnessing. Because this power, it's not just addition, it's not even simple multiplication, it's an exponential fusion. Every punch, every blast, every movement hits with godlike precision and overwhelming force. Techniques like the final Kamehameha or the Stardust Breaker aren't just attacks, they're finishing moves for threats that exist on a multiversal scale. But even power like this has a flaw, a single weakness that keeps it from taking the top spot: time. Because no matter how strong they are, they can't exist forever. But for those few, fleeting minutes, they are nearly unstoppable. A fusion of gods, a force beyond comprehension, and a power that pushes reality itself to the breaking point.
俺は別に正義のヒーローでもなんでもねえけどな仲間を傷つけるやつは許さねえぞ
Number 1. Perfected Ultra Instinct Dragon Ball Super. And finally, the number 1 spot. This isn't just a transformation. It's not just another power-up. This is an entirely new state of being. A technique so advanced, so impossibly difficult to master, that even most gods of destruction can't fully achieve it. This is the ultimate form of Goku, Perfected Ultra Instinct.
Silver hair, a calm, almost crystalline aura, and a presence so overwhelming it feels untouchable. Because in this state, Goku doesn't think, he doesn't plan, he doesn't hesitate. His body moves on its own. Every attack is dodged, every strike is precise, all without conscious thought. Imagine fighting someone who reacts before you even act. Opponents who move faster than time itself. It doesn't matter, they still can't hit him. This is the power that allowed him to stand on equal ground with Jiren, a mortal so strong he surpassed even a god of destruction. Deeper tone. Ultra Instinct does something no other form can. It separates the mind from the body. No wasted movement, no hesitation, no fear. Just pure, perfect action. Final build. This isn't about raw strength. It's not about overwhelming power. This is the absolute peak of martial arts, a level where technique becomes divine, where every movement is flawless, where the fighter becomes something greater than mortal. Final pause. Perfected Ultra Instinct isn't just power, it's perfection.
And there you have it. 10 transformations that didn't just break power scaling, they threw it straight out the window. From the dragon-fueled fury of Fairy Tail to the calm, untouchable divinity of Dragon Ball Super, these forms proved one thing. In anime, even gods can be left in the dust. But now, we want to hear from you. Do we miss any transformations? Is there a form you think deserves a spot on this list? Or maybe even the #1 position? Drop your picks down in the comments and let's settle it. Who is the true, undisputed king of power-ups? And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, we've got even more insane anime content on the way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.